Our extensive understanding of the universe did not emerge overnight, and Voyager 1's terrifying new encounter with an unidentified entity may open our eyes to a whole new perspective on the universe. Without the Voyager probes, our knowledge of space and some of the major strides we achieved would be lacking. Yet something appears to be wrong with one of the probes after years of circling in orbit. Join us as we explore the buried mysteries of outer space. Let's find out our exploration on Voyager 1 finally announced the strangest discovery seen in space history. First, we begin the story of the two outer space journeys, two of the most significant space probes ever launched. Here is a glance at their fascinating tale. The twin journeys 1 and 2, which have been gathering fresh data in space for the past 45 years, despite the lack of current technology at the time these missions were launched, have contributed significantly to our understanding of space and its many mysteries. What the heck is that? Due to the possibility of taking a considerably more hazard course, Voyager 1 was the first spacecraft to reach the boundary of the solar system. A significantly shorter journey raised the probability of mistakes being made and made becoming lost in space a very real possibility. These two probes contribute significantly to our understanding of the vast universe for Voyager 1. Scientists and NASA engineers are still in awe of the data and photographs the twin spacecraft have returned. The two were the ones who first photographed Jupiter and showed us the planet's well-known red spot. The discovery of the biggest natural satellite in the solar system, Europa, and signs of water on it provided some interesting facts about many stars and planets. With Voyager 1's landing on Saturn, its intended final destination, some 13 years after its launch, scientists have had more information on the planet's wind speeds and a greater understanding of its short. If there were only 10 hours in a day, we were able to discover a great deal more about the nitrogenous habitat of Titan, a moon of a far-off planet. On this distant planet, we also discovered 10 new moons. The two spacecraft parted and set off on separate missions after gathering data at Saturn. When Voyager 2 proceeded on its course towards the other two planets in our solar system, Voyager 1 diverted and moved in the direction of the heliosphere. While these two voyages were able to help answer a lot of questions regarding the vast outer space, they also brought forward some new questions. For instance, Voyager 2 was able to obtain previously unseen information on Neptune, a planet that was previously thought to be inferior by scientists. Scientists were astounded and confused to learn how a planet so far from the Sun, getting so little solar energy, could sustain such a complex climate and weather pattern. By 2004, both probes had traveled to locations that may be termed the furthest reaches of our solar system, thousands of miles beyond Earth. The two had arrived at the termination shock, a location in our solar system. Things started to slow down in this location as winds decreased in speed from millions of miles per hour to just 250 miles per hour, a pathetic fraction of the blinding interstellar speeds. When Voyager 1 reached the edge, it still needed to cross the heliosphere to enter interstellar space, since nothing in space or the solar system is ever simple. Let us now clarify what the heliosphere is if you're still unclear. Simply described, it's a shield that protects our solar system and the planet from intense radiation and energy of interstellar space. Even though it debuted 45 years ago and technology has advanced by a factor of 10, since that time, nothing has been able to go as far into space as Voyager 1, which has already covered a staggering distance of 12 billion miles. Even more amazing is how little technology was used to achieve this. Both probes are devoid of microprocessors. In fact, they weren't even invented at the time. The fact that there is little or no software helps keep things afloat long enough. Scientists and engineers thought that everything had to be hardwired for things to work for such a long time. The computers on board were, at best, crude and used relatively little power, which allowed the probes to operate for such a long time. Instruments aboard the probe captured all the surrounding data, which was then recorded on an 8-track tape recorder. It was returned to Earth using a device that consumed about the same amount of energy as a refrigerator light bulb. Isn't that just insane? Surprisingly, the Voyager is still running smoothly. Yet a spacecraft suffers damage after 45 years spent by itself in the vastness of space. Scientists are worried about these symptoms when they start to manifest. They have observed that despite the Voyager 1 appearing to be fully operational, they are unsure of its location. Even though it didn't enter a safe mode or cause any alarms, we don't know where it is. Although baffled, NASA scientists and experts are not particularly surprised. This type of problem in a probe this old isn't shocking. The question is, what happened to the Voyager, and what did it encounter in its journey into the unknown interstellar space? Are there sinister forces at work here? Or perhaps the spaceship is just beginning to show its age? Based on what scientists know, it appears that the probe has experienced some form of electrical asphyxia. As a result, the person's speech becomes less fluid and extremely difficult to comprehend. According to NASA, the data it is sending might just be created at random and have nothing to do with the AACS's probable states. The attitude, articulation, and management mechanism of Voyager 1. The High-Gain Antennas Control System, AACS, started broadcasting jumbled data to Earth in place of the spacecraft's usual health and status updates. To continue operations with the mission scheduled to finish in 2030, NASA has been turning off non-essential components for the past 3 years to increase its energy reserves. The Voyager is still pointing its antenna towards the Earth. According to the steady radio signal it is transmitting, the AACS has been transmitting telemetry data via an onboard computer that had malfunctioned years before, which NASA experts were able to pinpoint and resolve. To stop more abnormalities, the next step is to find and fix the real offender. But right now, nothing too scary is happening. Who knows what these arbitrary signals may signify? NASA researchers are working tirelessly to answer this question. The space agency was equipped to handle the wide and challenging conditions of space when it was initially launched. It has been operating nicely since it has been within the magnetic field of the Sun. The probe has been shielded by this field from the Sun's intensive radiation and high-energy space debris. Even if a high-energy and speed particle strikes the computer's chip, the memory sustains only very little damage, which might add up over time. Fortunately, NASA experts had predicted this possibility and had their internal systems and computers engineered to resist such an impact. Regardless of how well a mission may have gone, there comes a point when difficult decisions must be made to allow room for more advancement. The Voyager appears to have crossed the finish line. It could be time to end things after 45 hard years in deep space, since each person will have to retire due to the most recent flaw and malfunction. The probe is beginning to say goodbye as its systems are being turned off by the American Space Agency. It's amazing how humans were able to launch probes into space that survived for such a very long time, even before the development of current technologies. Two similar probes that began by giving mankind some of its closest views of the two largest planets in our solar system have served their purpose, and D is finished as of 2030. There will be a shutdown of the probes. Both of the mission's performances have exceeded NASA's expectations, and they have exceeded their guarantee by 10 times. The expeditions have, in some respects, evolved into a kind of time capsule for that period. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of discovery. We hope you found this video both informative and intriguing. We encourage you to keep exploring and learning about the wonders of space. And don't forget to leave a comment below and share your thoughts on Voyager 1's latest discovery. Until next time, keep looking up.